Welcome to the DTB podcast presented by Bless Your Heart Nonprofit Corporation. I'm Russ Jumbo and I'll be your host, filling in for our regular host, Brendan Mathern, as we speak to some of the most interesting people up and down Bayou Lafourche. You see them on Friday nights supporting the Fighting Tarpons and marching up and down LA1 during Mardi Gras, but the South Lafourche Band does so much more. Today we have Randy Chasson, South Lafourche Band Director, and Friends of Tarpon Pride board members Scotty Trosclair and Reggie Lejeune to tell us what the pride of South Lafourche Marching Tarpon Band truly is. So Reggie, Scotty, Randy, thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you just having us on.
So guys, we every podcast we try to get the guests to tell us who you are, who's your family, who's your mom and dad, like the old-fashioned down the bayou saying. So Randy, we'll start with you. Give us a feeling for who you are.
Okay. Well, originally I'm not from down the bayou. Originally from Thibodaux. I grew up in Thibodaux. My parents are Roswella and Kenneth Chasson. I'm a graduate of Thibodaux High, class of 97. I went through Nichols, and when the opportunity opened up to work down at South Lafourche, I jumped at the chance, and I've been here for 21 years now.
Scotty?
Name's Scotty Trosclair. Parents are Sterling and Janice Trosclair. I actually graduated from Graham High School in Graham, North Carolina. Joined military, went around the world a few times in the Army for a few years, and Bayou just called me back. Moved on back to the Bayou and been here about 20 years ever since.
How you doing? I'm Reggie Lejeune. My parents are Guy and Loretta Lejeune. I was born and raised down here, graduated from South Lafourche High. Would not want to be any other place but here.
The Reggie Lejeune from the Rouse's commercial.
That's it.
So guys, in the intro, I said that you tell us about the pride of South Lafourche Marching Tarpon Band, what it truly is. So give our listeners a rundown on how the band's made up, how many people participate in it, just what is the South Lafourche Band?
Sure. We this year we have 130 members, including our tarponettes and all the brass players, wind players, drum majors, and of course the percussion students, front ensemble and drum line. We got multiple kids involved in several other activities, including ROTC and football and volleyball. We've had every activity at school. We have kids that are all over. Quiz bowl, swim team. They're just multifaceted. We get some of the best kids in the school, and we like to share them with everybody, and they help make our organization very successful.
So you mentioned a lot of pieces of the band, like the tarponettes, and how is that structure made up? I mean, does everybody play an instrument, or?
Not necessarily everybody plays an instrument. Several of our tarponettes actually do play an instrument. Just this time of the year, they do the flags and the rifles and the dancing aspect of what the marching band is, and our drum majors as well. Right now, they're waving their hands, but come concert season, one of them picks up a flute, another one picks up a French horn, and It's all hands on deck.
Gotcha. Scotty, Reggie, so you guys are on the board. So, Scotty, explain to us what you do on the board for the band.
I pretty much head up a lot of the trailer maintenance and make sure everything is taken care of so that way our kids can get back and forth to these marching competitions and shows they go to. Pretty much just make sure that everything's running okay, the trailers are roadworthy, and they look good for the kids.
Reggie?
Yeah, I'm Reggie. I had fundraising with many other people, and thank you for that. Basically, we go out there, we get donations. Go out there, we get everything we could for these kids, and we thank the community for being out there for us, and thank y'all for the support.
So, what type of fundraising do y'all do?
We do a lot of fundraising, through sponsorship that we have through our Silver King Classic. We have different nominations broken down on sponsorship, and we hang up banners. We do just about anything. We'll take any dollar. We'll take any dollar amount, and it all goes to the kids.
Give the audience an idea about the things that y'all do with the donations that makes the band better.
Last year, we was able to sell a bunch of advertising space on the back of the 2 trailers that we got, and we sent them off to Southern Signs in Thibodaux, and we had both of the trailers wrapped. It really took some trailers that looked pretty old and rough and beat up and turn them into brand new trailers. And my whole thing is if we can get the kids over there looking good, they'll feel better about themselves. It might give them that little bit of extra push they need to do a little bit better with the competition they go into, maybe shine a little bit more, be a little happier about it, and place a little better with it. We also came across a good deal on one trailer, and we bought a new trailer to add to our fleet because we needed something that was a lot bigger than the two little ones we had. With that, we sold more advertising space, and we got that one wrapped too. So we pretty much took the two trailers we had, got them brand new, bought a new trailer, had it wrapped too, and turned around, stuck all three of those plus two utility trailers we had in the shop, had new tires put on them, had the axles checked, pretty much the trailer checked. We bought a bunch of lighting. I put lights inside all the trailers because a lot of these shows we go to, we show up at the daytime, but whenever we go to leave or load up all our equipment, it's nighttime.
Right.
And the first one that I remember going to, I remember a whole bunch of the kids just holding up their cell phones for flashlights, trying to pick up their equipment. And I said, there's no way. I'm an electrician. We're going to take care of this. So I went to work on the platform, ordered a buttload of US LED lights, and just started putting lights in all the trailers so that way we can make sure all the kids were safe. A lot of this came from the money that we picked up from the community doing projects and donations and selling advertising space. And it really made the trailers look really good and got our kids a lot safer.
For sure. And, I was leaving one of the football games for homecoming night. And when I was pulling out, I saw somebody taking a picture of the back of one of the trailers. I guess they were taking a picture of their company.
That was the new trailer.
Yeah.
That's probably me. No.
So,
no, and I mean, look, we see that a lot with Bless Your Heart too. Like, there's people who want to help, and they're always looking for an opportunity to be able to help. And, even when you reached out, we would have never known that there was safety issues with the trailer to be able to help you guys get that right. A lot of people do want to be able to help, and by doing that and giving a little promotion back to the company and putting that on the trailer, it's a win-win situation for everybody. So that was a great idea.
Yeah, because with that, we sold it as, I'm not coming back to you next year and ask you for another donation for that spot. That spot's going to be there until we have to rewrap them trailers. Whenever we wrap the trailers, I'm going to go to those companies first. I mean, they were the ones that help us out at the beginning. I'll go to them first and give them the opportunity to repurchase another spot. We're going to have them rewrapped again. It's probably going to be close to the same image, the same everything. And they'll get a chance to put their name on the back of the trailer for another 5 or 6 years. I think we charge $500 a spot. You can't buy advertising in the state for $100 a year. There's no way possible. And we might get 7 years out the trailer, so it's even less than $100 a year. So to me, it was a no-brainer. I mean, you got a lot of visibility on these trailers because it's not just parked on the side of Salafouche. Them things roll the entire Gulf Coast.
We're going to Gulfport.
Yeah, we're going to Mississippi next week.
So explain that. I guess a lot of people don't. I don't think about it. You guys y'all go to Gulfport, y'all go perform, but there's a lot of background work that goes into having to get all that stuff over there to be able to go perform, right?
So usually the morning of, he'll take the band and he'll run through his show with them, and they got all the props and a bunch of stuff on the field. We take 1 or 2 trailers and park it in the back to get ready for loadout. Once they finish their practice and they feel good with what they got, we got to break down all the field equipment and just start putting it in the trailers. Whenever we get it all loaded up, we also have to grab a few four-wheelers, throw them in the trailers, because whenever we get to these stadiums, we have to put a whole bunch of equipment on the field in a short amount of time, because you're given 5-7 minutes?
Not even 3 sometimes.
To get on the field, get set up, and get ready to start playing. So a lot of times we'll hook up 2 trailers to four-wheelers, and we'll have 2 12 to 16-foot utility trailers loaded full of instruments and stuff for the pit. They have to offload that, get all the wires and everything set up, plugged in, which is a lot of stuff going on all at the same time. All of this while the kids are up in the field kind of warming up and doing their little practicing with Mr. C here. At the same time, whenever they finish the show, we got to break all of this stuff down with the kids, get it all loaded up on these trailers, get it back out in the parking lot. It's not going to stay on the utility trailers. We got to get them all packed up in the bigger cargo trailers, and then get the utility trailers with the four-wheelers hooked up to trucks again, getting ready to go back home. And this is a weekly thing, and they've gotten really, really good with it.
Yeah, it sounds very efficient.
Yeah, we have a great team. We have some great people involved. They help out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, my wife Maggie's been in charge of this year of lining people up to pull, and so far we've really been we've had more people than what we've needed.
That's great.
And that's always a blessing, because the same people pulling every single time ends up Sometimes you just want to go to the show and you want to catch it from the beginning to the end. Well, if you got the same people pulling the trailers all the time, you can't really do that.
Right.
So now more people have an opportunity to go early, catch the show from beginning to end, and help out just getting the props loaded and unloaded as they want to. But you get a little more opportunity to see some of the other schools perform. And that way you kind of see what your competition is. And look, some of these kids are good. I mean, real good. Some of these schools are real good. You'd be really impressed to see how the precision in their shows are. I can barely chew gum and walk at the same time. And these kids are running sideways and jumping up and down and making all kinds of movements, all while playing these instruments and playing them in key and in step. And there's no way.
It's impressive.
Right. Yeah.
So Reggie, you talked about from your side on the fundraising,
Yes,
but
sir.
give some insight on some of the other activities that get done with the money.
So first of all, I want to give a shout out to Mr. Chasson, Mr. Boudreau, Gaddy, and Stewie for what they do for these kids. I basically came out as my boy played sports, and he quit all sports, and he decided to join the band. And I was a sports guru. Now I just want to tell you I'm there for the halftime show now. So so basically what we do is when I first came on last year, we gave Mr. Chasson a wish list on what he wanted. And it was up to us and the crew to raise money to get what he wanted. We purchased 4 concert tubas. That was about a cost of about $16,000. Yeah. So guys, instruments are not cheap. This is just a beginning of what we want to do. We have about 20 items on the wish list, and I'm going to plug it again. Guys, if y'all would like to donate and help the band out, contact us, and we'll definitely take your donations.
So you also have a plethora of parents in the concession stands providing food to the public that's there to watch the game as well. So does that money also goes back to band?
So the concession stand, all the profits we make from the concession stand pay for us to go to all these out-of-town shows.
Gotcha.
The transportation we usually get from the school buses, but the school doesn't pay for it. We have to pay for it. And it's not really cheap to go to a lot of these places. Like we're going to Mississippi here real soon. We're going to take 3 or 4 buses, and we're going to be going all day long to Mississippi. Well, you got to pay for them 3 or 4 buses fuel. You got to pay for the bus, and you also got to pay for the driver. Sometimes the drivers donate their time. Sometimes they want to get paid for it because it's overtime for them.
Job.
Yeah, and it's a job. So we can't do it without them. And I mean, the bus drivers are really dedicated to these kids as well. I mean, they can be doing other things. Right. They don't really need to be doing that. But, they like going to these shows. Sometimes some of those are ex-band moms. And they remember what it was like when they was on the other side.
Gotcha.
So they help us out just as much as anything else. And we try to have a sign-up list where all of the parents kind of only have to work one night in the concession stand. That way, if we have 4 or 5 home games, they only sacrifice in one home game that they're going to be in the concession stand or at the ticket booth or somewhere else. And then the other 3 or 4 games, they can be in the stands and watch their kids, and they can watch it during halftime. Awesome. That way, they don't miss everything.
Right. So outside of fundraising, is there any other money that comes to I guess, support the band?
Yeah, that was pretty much my undertaking. Last year, well, probably beginning of this year, we had a cake bingo with a plate lunch jambalaya that did exceptionally well. It seemed like
cake and jambalaya. I mean, how could
it was pretty good, man.
With that.
We sold a bunch of plate lunches, probably pretty close to 500 plate lunches, wow. And the kids are trying to go to Disney right now. So the way we had it structured was that we took the expenses out of it. We divided up whatever we sold per kid, and whatever tickets they sold, they got the profits off of that, and that paid for their Disney trip. So it really helped pay down a lot of their kids' Disney trips. We've done that one. We've also done a chicken fricassee that we had, and we did really, really good with that one. And I think we have a gumbo coming up in November that we're going to do another plate lunch in November. We're trying to do a cake bingo, but it's not time is not working out too good with it. So we're just going to stick to the gumbo and make it easy, and hopefully that'll round up with a lot of it.
So, I have been seeing on Facebook a lot of kids posting or parents posting about fundraising to go to Disney World. What does the band go do in Disney World?
So we're giving the kids an opportunity to go perform out of this state and showcase the talent of our community on the world stage. So it's a really cool experience, a once in a lifetime for these kids to go and perform with the Magic Kingdom Castle in the background. It's a very cool event for these kids to go.
Got the frissons thinking
Yeah,
about
it's
that.
it's fun. It's a good time.
Man, that has to be an experience for a high school kid to go. So do they perform in the parade?
Yeah. Actually,
Okay.
we meet backstage. We get warmed up. We get dressed up in uniforms and stretch out. And then when they say go time, they open the gate, and it's like a Mardi Gras parade, and we're the main attraction. You know, we just go down parade throughout the park. It's pretty cool.
I mean, you'll have experience in that.
Yeah. A lot of other schools don't have the luxury of marching parades like we do, you know. And down here, I mean, parades are about 4 or 5 miles, and over there, it's just right about a mile. So for us, it's a cakewalk, you know. Other kids might be huffing and puffing. My kids are in shape though. We're rocking and rolling.
Bro, that is one thing. Like, you know, when we see y'all walking in the parade, and even the junior high kids with golden medal, and I'm sorry, middle school kids with golden medal and LCO. Like, that's a long way to be carrying an instrument and just to be walking that far.
Oh, definitely. You know? Yeah. It's definitely physically taxing on the kids. We have to get them in shape, you know, for all of that. But they respond well, and we try to put on a good show. And like I said, just showcase the hardworking, talented kids we have from right here in the Bayou.
That's right.
That's when you're glad you're a flute player, not a trombone player. So.
And if anybody would like to sponsor a kid, we still would take any sponsorships, because there's kids that still need money to go to Disney, and they could contact any one of us.
Okay. So, Scotty, you talked about the board, we talked about the band, but there's a lot of other work that goes on behind the scenes to be able to make things happen. So give us a view into all the different groups that help out to make the support of the band successful.
So pretty much all of the kids in, you know, the band program all have their parents. All the parents are pretty much in the Booster Club. During the year, we do a lot with the kids that a lot of people just don't know about. We don't advertise. It's just stuff that we know needs to happen. We have a 2-week band camp. During that band camp, we have an army of parents pretty much helping us out with it. What they normally do is we get a lot of snacks that we buy, water that we get, Gatorade, that kind of stuff like that. And these kids are gone from sometimes 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning till 6, 7 o'clock at night during band camp. And that's in the middle of summertime. It's hot, you know, and it's,
the fire department comes spray water on.
Yeah, this year we had the fire department out there with us. So we get a lot of these parents that the kids kind of go in the morning. They get fitted for their show shirts, their uniforms, and what we're going to wear. And then we got a group of parents that start altering these uniforms, because last year it might have been for somebody else. This year it's for this one, and the pants need to be let out or taken up or whatever not. We got another group of them that split up a whole bunch of snacks. Instead of putting out like the big bags of cookies, they'll take them and put them in snack bags, and we go ahead and bring them to the back. Then we have some of them that are just committed to nothing but making Gatorade and ice water that we bring to the back in the coolers. I mean, it's this summer was brutal. I mean, it was 90, 100 degrees outside, and you know, they gave them breaks pretty often, but you still have to have your snacks and your water and stuff like that for them to have.
Right.
So we get all the parents back there, and they keep up with that. And while that's going on, we have an idea about what we're going to do in the show, but we're not 100% sure a lot of times. But we do have general props that we use every year, pretty much all the time, and they need to have work done on them. And we got another group of parents that get together, and we fix all the props. Like, is a stage. We use a stage every year, pretty much. So we use a stage, and we make sure that's okay. We got drum major podiums. We usually got to tighten some bolts, because through the years of transporting them, stuff loosens up, and we make sure everything's safe for the kids to get on and work around and play with and be on. The same parents that usually do a lot of the props also help during the halftime shows. I mean, we got 15, 20 minutes. We got to get everything on the field, do our show, and get off the field. And we've got a lot of equipment sometimes we've got to bring on there, and it's too much for the kids to do all in one shot. So we have a lot of the booster parents that are prop masters, and they pretty much full time, you know, help load the stuff in the trailers, get it out the trailers, get it on the field during the halftime shows, and get it off the field after the halftime shows. So I don't think we can do what we do without the humongous support that we have from the booster parents themselves.
Right. I mentioned something about the fire department coming to spray water on the kids, and it was all over social media, and that looked like it was a lot of fun. What was the story behind that? How did that come about?
So with that, we kind of saw it somewhere else, and we thought, man, that looked fun. It looked like them kids had a lot of fun with it. I think that's something we can probably pull off. So I think Miss Lisa got in touch with Jada at the fire department, and I called Mr. Devin over at the fire department, and I said, is this something we can possibly do? And, Devin got back with me and said, well, as long as C's okay with it, I don't see no problem why we can't get a truck over there. And whenever I got in touch with C about it, C was like, absolutely. So we had Marchathon. They learned their third movement at the Marchathon, and somewhere around lunchtime, we told them we was going to have a fire truck over there. That way they can get sprayed. And come around lunchtime, the kids ate, and then they just got the fire truck cranked up, and for about 15 minutes, the kids just got in a puddle, and we washed them down.
It rained.
I caught a little mist on the side, and honestly, that day was pretty darn hot, and it felt good. So I'd imagine that, other than them going back marching, being soaking wet, it probably wasn't that bad for them either.
Right. Man, I can't speak highly enough about our fire department, like Devin and that crew. They're always willing to do what they need to do to be able to help the community. So good job for reaching out to Devin, because he's definitely willing to go the extra mile for anybody.
Yeah. I've known him for the last 15 years. There's not a whole lot of people I'd wake up in the middle of the night to go help out, but if he ever called me, I'd be there in a heartbeat.
No doubt. So we talked a lot about parades. Obviously, you guys are at the football games, playing the football game during the games, and then the halftime show or at the end of the football game. But give the listeners an idea of the other activities that you guys do, like with the festivals and playing at different areas.
Yeah, I mean, what the public doesn't see is, like, right now we have class, and during class we're teaching these kids skills. Like it's a laundry list of skills to be able to do what we do. So we work on that Monday through Friday during class, and what you guys don't see necessarily on the weekend is we attend marching festivals. We're in the peak of marching season right now, so we're going off next. In fact, on the 14th, we're heading to West Harrison and Gulfport and going to compete against schools in Mississippi as well as some from Louisiana. We'll attend a few other competitions. We'll be hosting one. I know we'll talk about that in a little bit. It all culminates the beginning of November with the Louisiana State Marching Band Champions in Lafayette. Then once we get past that, we switch into concert mode, and we do lots of prep, getting ready to put on a concert for the public and our parents for the Christmas concert. And in the springtime, we, again, still building skills, and we work on music to go perform at a concert festival or two, and then a spring concert. So we're working year round. And in the spring as well, our Tarponettes, they do what's called Winter Guard, WGI. They do indoor. So like what we do on a field Friday night, they do it inside. No musicians, just them spinning flags and rifles and dancing around, putting on a whole production. It's really amazing what they get done.
That's a whole year of,
it's year round. Yeah.
And what he's not going to mention, I will, is last year we were state 2A champions, pretty much for marching bands throughout the state of Louisiana.
Really? Was that the first year that South Lafourche ever won state?
No, we've done it a few times since I've been here.
Yeah.
But the goal for every band is to make it in the top 10 in the state.
Okay.
We've placed as high as 4th place a few years ago. Last year we happened to be 6th place, so we're pushing hard to be back in that top 10 this year.
I got you.
Hopefully top 5.
But last year you finished first.
6th place. 6th
Oh,
place in the state.
6th place overall in the state 2A champion.
Yeah, for our first place in our class.
I got you. Oh, so it's all the high schools.
Yeah.
You got it, just like football. They got different class divisions based on how many they got in the band.
Okay.
And, the higher your band is, the more A's you got. And we're about that smaller size, so we were just 2A last year. We picked up a bunch more kids in the school, so now this year we 3A. So we kind of moved up another category.
Gotcha. And I assume, just like with football, it gets tougher with the higher A class.
Yeah, but everybody's just kind of doing their own thing. I mean, it just the more kids you have in band, the better sounds you can make, the more things you can do out on the field. So it's just a fun competition for us.
So I noticed this at the Thibodeau game. We were there. We saw you guys' performance, which was excellent. When did electronics get introduced into the band?
Okay, so I've been doing this, like I said, for 21 years, and I'll show my age a little bit. When I first started, that wasn't a thing.
No.
It wasn't. I'd really have to say it's been in about the last 10 or so years, electronics has really come to the forefront, and it's like it or not, it's part of what we do now. It's a kind of a competition to see, like, how can you go beyond normal band sounds and infuse all these other things.
Right.
And it helps add it. It helps make it more like a movie soundtrack, so to speak.
Exactly. So Randy, we talked about, what you guys do to activities and all, but tell us about the impact the band has on the students and scholarship opportunities and on the community as a whole.
Well, one of the best things I love about my job is I'm using music as a vessel to teach these kids life skills.
Mm-hmm.
We teach them, just like a sports team, we teach them teamwork, we teach them leadership. But my favorite thing, and I preach it to the kids, is I teach them how to work hard. I teach them how to work hard towards a goal. And so when they get out in society, they're going to be able to do that for whoever's going to employ them. They're going to want to serve their community and do the best that they could do. Every year we graduate kids off to the collegiate level, and we hope they take their talents with them to the next level. No matter what university they go to, we try to encourage them to be in band or the auxiliary at whatever college. And when you get to the collegiate level, you're offered financial aid scholarships and stuff like that. If you major in music, you definitely get scholarships. Just being a member in a college marching band, you get service awards. So you're getting money from the university just right there, just to go participate in something you already love and know how to do.
Wow.
We've got kids currently in we've got them in the Nichols band, we've got them in the UL Lafayette band, we've got a couple students in the LSU band. I think we have one left, maybe two left in the Southeastern band. I've got another former student in a La Tech band up north, So we've got
Texas
that's right. Thank y'all guys. Yeah, we've got one currently. We've got an Aggie, former our drum major last year, Gavin Como. He's off in the really awesome band over at Texas A&M. So we've got kids all over the place representing our community.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Tarpon's all over the place.
Yeah, Tarpon's all over. Tarpon's taking over, man.
Tarpon's.
So you guys got something coming up in the next few weeks, right? Give us an idea about the band festival, what kind of activities take place for that, and the benefits that has for you guys and the school.
Okay. Well, the Silver King Classic has been a dream child of the Booster Club for several years, and we were in set to have it roll, and then COVID hit, and so it kind of went the back burner, and then we started to get back to some normalcy, and then Ida hit. So it was kind of set back a few times, but last year we finally were able to get it off the ground, and we were able to have an outstanding event. So I'll liken it to you. It's basically a day long or several hours long of just halftime over and over. All these bands coming competing. And then we combine it with the best food festivals down here on the bayou.
Wow.
Just think of when you go to the French Food Festival, or we just had the Cutoff Youth Center festival, and just all the great food. We have all the great down the bayou chefs coming in and cooking for us, and you get burgers and hot dogs as well. But man, when you can go to an event and get some pork roti or some fried shrimp or fried fish.
I remember last year the menu was like unbelievable.
Nobody's marching festival can top ours on food. Put it that way. I know we are up against the French Food Festival this year, but trust me, if you come to our event, you're not gonna go hungry. It's gonna be some outstanding food there as well. And we're gonna feature 15 bands from around the state, and we actually are pulling in a band from Florida. We're pulling in Pace High School out of Florida is coming all this way to come and perform, and we're also bringing in college. We're bringing in William Carey University out of Mississippi is going to come down and perform for us as well. We have several of our local area groups, Lafourche, Terrebonne, St. Charles, Assumption. We have those bands. We also have Santa Maria High School coming down out of the Gonzales area, and they're a huge band, 220 kids plus.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to be a big event for us.
So in comparison to, how many kids are in the band this year at Lafourche?
So we have 130 kids, and I think we added it up the other day. All the other kids coming. We have over 1,600 other kids coming on our campus.
Wow.
That's
at Memorial Stadium.
Yeah, at Memorial Stadium. That's just the kids. It's not including the moms and the dads.
You could be about 4,000.
Yeah, coming and cheer or pulling equipment and stuff like that. So yeah, we're going to be probably 4,000 to 5,000 people deep in that stadium on the 28th.
Wow. So, and it's October 28th. What time does it start?
The first band steps off at 3:30 in the afternoon, and our awards are the final of our show starts at about 8:20 in the evening. So. You've got the morning to go to French Food Festival, and then come check us out in the afternoon.
Right. So you said awards. How's that broken up? Like, is it like a scoring?
Yeah, it's definitely a scoring. We have a panel of judging. We hire some judges, professional judges from around the country to come in through CSJA, that's Central States Judging Association, and they evaluate each band. They judge them on music, visuals, color guard, percussion, general effect, and they give each band a score in those captions. And so within each class, they're ranked against each other. And then overall, we do some outstanding awards on the best of each category on the day.
Gotcha.
So we try to make it so every band, no matter how good or bad they do, they go at least home with one trophy. You know?
Right.
We want them to feel good about themselves. It's nice to get something nice and shiny to show for your hard work that you put in.
If anything, they get to eat chicken fricassee.
I mean, why not? Why not show up, you know?
So that sounds like an eventful time. So October 28th at Memorial Stadium, you'll be able to see, 15 different bands, college band, local bands, band from Florida, and have a good time, get to eat some good food and hang out. So,
yeah, I mean, for, 5-6 hours worth of entertainment, it only costs $10 to get in. That's great for the money,
For sure. So, guys, it's time to do our rapid fire questions. You can answer with the first thing that comes to your mind. You can expound on your answer, whatever you feel. Have at it. So we'll go Randy, Reggie, and Scotty. So are y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
You're ready.
Cool.
Yes, sir.
So Randy, if you have one final meal cooked by anybody in the world, what would it be and who would cook it?
Man, I don't know. I've had a lot of great chefs. I guess I don't know who would cook it, but man, I just got to go out with some balled seafood. That's what I've got to go out with, man.
Balled shrimp,
crabs, crawfish. Man, I got to go out with some balled seafood.
That's right. Reggie?
From Rouse's. I would probably have to agree with him, and I would go after some Rouse's balled seafood.
I don't know, bro. Them ribeyes y'all got running in the front whenever you walking in, it's.
Or you could come on by Saturday and get your sizzling steaks.
Yep.
Only $9.99.
This turned into a Rouse's plug.
I think so.
Might have to add the Rouse's logo on it. Scotty?
If I had to say, I would probably, my grandma used to cook a good shrimp okra gumbo, and I'd have to put the potato salad in the gumbo.
Oh, man. You an in the gumbo guy?
In the gumbo. That
So-
way you can get the sauce with the potato salad, and it's all together.
So here's my take on this. Everybody's either in the gumbo or out. I'm kind of both. So have the potato salad out, but you can scoop it and then still dip it. Yeah. So you can be a dipping guy. You still get a little bit of the sauce. And then you don't have to have it all mixed together.
I don't know. I don't like washing two plates all in the same bowl.
You can get paper plates from Rouse's
That's
and
right.
go to metal.
Good deal. 2 for $5. No.
All right, so good segue, Scotty. So in the past, we talked about potato salad in the gumbo, out the gumbo, but we changed it up a little bit because after Hurricane Ida, we all had our fair share of jambalaya. So white beans, does it go on top of the jambalaya or on the salad?
I'm going to go on top.
I'm going to go on top, too.
Definitely on top.
Yeah. So fresh white beans or Blue Runner?
I grew up with my grandma's white beans, so it was always homemade. You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, you pulling from a can.
Same-
That's
same
sacrilegious.
here, yeah.
Yeah,
Same.
no, soaked overnight, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I was a picky eater until I joined the Army. Now I just eat whatever's in front of me.
Whatever's
it don't
warm.
matter. Or not even warm. It just got to be dead.
So the next question, Randy, favorite snowball flavor?
I'm not a snowball fan.
No?
I'm really not. I got OD'd on it when I was a kid. My nanny owned a snowball stand that was a bike ride away from the house. And I'll be honest with you, I would go there and I would buy her tea cookies. She made the best tea cookies. So snowball, I'm going to pass on snowball.
Tea cookies sound good too. Though.
Yes.
So me, I go for Miss Elaine's coconut with condensed milk, cream, ice cream, the whole 9 yards. And I'm a diabetic.
I live right there in Missy Lane's neighborhood, so there's no doubt it's going to be something from Missy Lane. Most of the time it's spearmint and cream, but every now and then I just start at the top of the list and try to work my way through the whole list.
Scotty, I think you have to be the first spearmint that we had. So the next question, jar roux, sometimes or never?
Never. Never.
Never?
Never.
I mean, you sound like a busy man.
Never.
I know we can buy Jaw Roo at Rouse's. Let's get that on
Well,
there.
that's what I was gonna go. I'm a pretty good jar guy, and I think one of my gumbos are probably one of the best, and a lot of my employees they could go for that. So yes, it has to be Rouse's Roo.
So you saying that one of your gumbos are the best, and it's made with a jar?
It's made with a jar, yes.
What?
And for every March, we have employee appreciation, and I cook a gumbo probably to feed an army for them.
Come on. So is the gumbo fundraiser for the band going to be a regular John gumbo?
Probably not. I don't think they're going to let me get behind the pots with my jar Roo.
I was about to say, they don't want you using Jaw Roo. Scotty?
I usually cook like about a gallon or 2 gallons of roux at a time, and I just keep it in the refrigerator. Whenever I need some, I take it out. But if don't have any, I'm in a pinch, I'll just get some Jaw Roo. By the time you cook it, you can't really tell the taste.
Yeah. I like roux because it stinks my house so good. Like it stinks, but it's like it gives you that warm feel.
Coming
yeah,
after.
something. Yeah, there's a light at the end of that tunnel. So the last question: you're at a Down the Bayou wedding reception. What song do you expect to hear? Oh, you a band director, so this is
there's just so many good ones. I mean, I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna pass. Let me think. Let me contemplate.
So me as person right here, what I would like to hear, and what I think I'd go for Nick. What y'all think about that?
You can't cut that one out. You got to leave that one in there.
it's staying.
When I go to a wedding down the Bayou, Darlene or anything they can do to freeze to.
Exactly.
Usually that's one that you see almost every wedding.
Gotta be there's gonna be a line dance.
Yeah, they gotta have that one, and usually Tina Na, which I think is funny because it's a married guy singing about a married woman, but they're not married to each other.
Okay, I thought of mine. It's gonna be "Take My Hand." That's one. That's a classic right there. That's a good
Lil
slow
Wayne
dance one.
Toops,
Yeah,
yeah.
Lil Wayne Toops. Yeah,
That's the song that my wife and I actually danced to
that's
for
awesome.
our wedding.
That's
Yep.
a great one.
Yeah, Wayne Toops. You're gonna hear it out. That's
Yeah, that's a solid.
So guys, Randy, Scotty, Reggie, we definitely appreciate you guys joining us. All the great work y'all doing, keep it up. I mean, the impact that you're having on the kids, I know, it's a job and you guys have kids that are in the band and you supporting it, but it from the big picture, like all those kids are never going to forget that in the rest of your life. Yeah, so just know that whatever you're doing, we always say use your powers for good. I mean, y'all using your powers for good. So just keep that up. Keep supporting them kids.
Appreciate it.
Well, that'll do it for this episode of the DTB Podcast. This podcast is presented by Bless Your Heart Nonprofit. Please visit our website at blessyourheartnonprofit.com to learn more about our organization and support our work. Be sure to follow and subscribe to the DTB Podcast on Apple, Google, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also get more content by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok at the DTB Podcast. I'm Raj Jambon. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.